All right, everybody. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here on our Thursday afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing okay out there. Thursday afternoon tropical update, and of course, you've been watching this week. We've got a few things that we're talking about. First, the system. It's Invest 95L. That's the one up in the upper left-hand corner off of Texas. Well, about 40% chance of developing. It's basically right on the coast right now. With a lot of rain going into Texas, even Louisiana. We've got potential tropical cyclone number two that's down there, way down south, off the coast of Colombia, and that's actually headed towards Nicaragua and even parts of Costa Rica, which is kind of crazy. I'll explain that. And then we've got the system. It's a tropical wave. It's east of the windwards right now. That only has about a 10% chance of developing. But it will be a tropical wave of moisture, and there's a shot that some of that moisture gets in here in the Florida area by the time we get towards Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. When I was looking at the models, like just get it here after 4th of July, right? So we don't ruin the weather for the upcoming holiday. Okay, let's get started right now with the forecast. Here we go. You can see now we're going to zoom down in here on potential tropical cyclone 2. They've got planes in there now, and I'm going to show you that as well coming up. But we actually earlier today we had a little bit of what I like to call like a bowling ball, right? You finally start to get like a center rotation. Watch right in here. You see that, and then it kind of falls apart a little bit as it's moving. It's now more of a really broad rotation sitting in this area right in here now. So Recon's been out there. Let me show you some of that. Let me see if I can get that. Recon's been out there. It's been actually really pretty interesting to watch all day. And it's great to have that recon because otherwise you can't tell if that's classified as not as a that's the wrong button. Hold on here as a tropical system because you need to figure out what it looks like. So this is the flight coming out right now. That's a live shot from where it's at right now. Okay, let me zoom out here a little bit, and I'm going to show you where they flew down. You can see where they flew into here. This is Colombia down here. Colombia's see if I can get my little marker working here for me. Colombia is right in that area right there. So what we're looking for is this center rotation, right? We can see that a little bit. But now we need to know if we've got winds that are coming all the way around it, right? Counterclockwise winds coming all the way around it. We don't have that. So they're thinking the center might be right down in here. We do have a little bit of a northeast wind here, but we don't have a northwest wind here. We actually have a southeast. It's the opposite of what you would expect to see. So we don't have rotation all the way around this. We're trying to get there. You see the southeast winds here. We've got east and then northeast winds on the north side. So we're trying to get there. But look, we need westerly winds or northwest winds here. We've got east winds. So this is just not organized enough to be anything other than potential tropical cyclone. Now look, uh, they've issued hurricane watches for Nicaragua and the coast of Costa Rica because they think that this will strengthen potentially pretty close to a hurricane by the time it makes landfall. That would be Saturday night. But that's going to be kind of iffy to see if that even happens, right? Let me see here. I'm probably messing you up here. Let me see what you can see. Oh, you're still looking at that. Okay, that's good. So bottom line, what we're going to see is eventually this is going to move off to the west. Let's go, since I got you here, let's talk about the forecast models. You can see those there, and really good agreement coming in towards Costa Rica and Nicaragua. And then the really interesting part is it doesn't fall apart much when it moves over land. It'll actually fall apart a little bit, but come back, and most of the modeling has it coming almost all the way to the tip of Baja before it runs into some cold water. Here's the forecast model. You can clearly see, look at this right here. This is where it comes, and it gets the strengthening the next 24 hours. Then you can see it make landfall tomorrow night through Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon over land, and then Saturday night and Sunday, look, it's coming right back up. That's the Pacific side. Now, if it does not drop down below Tropical Storm Bonnie, if it gets that name later tonight or tomorrow, that's kind of what we're looking at, but it might actually be tomorrow, to be honest with you. If it gets that name and it sustains that 40-mile-per-hour wind as it goes across land and then strengthens again, it will keep the name Bonnie as it moves offshore. So something to keep an eye on for that right there. Let's take you over here. I'm going to show you a bigger picture of this as well too. This is a little bit bigger picture of the satellite for that entire area. And we've had a lot of lift in the atmosphere in the Caribbean, in fact, in the Gulf as well too. A lot of storms popping out there. You can see here now this. It's a couple different things looking at. There is the recon, this blue, light blue line you see in there. Then here's the track from the Hurricane Center, these orange semicircles that you see here. And then you can see it comes all the way out and it heads over here. There's the tip of Baja here. So it's going to head up here by the time we get towards, it looks like now, Thursday of next week. This thing could literally be on the map through about Thursday of next week, so a good week from now. Now, the other system that we're watching is up here in the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. I'll put this in motion, see if we can download some of this data. But you can see that blue line moving. That's the recon that is out there right now. Look see where the L is here? That's where they think the center is. 1,013 millibars. Aircraft pressure was lower than that. Of course, they're at altitude. But bottom line, that's where they're trying to get the winds wrapping around. Look where all the moisture is, right? Everything's on the right sides, up in the Houston, really, and up in the western parts of Louisiana. They've had some rain in southeast Texas from this, but now it's shifted a little bit more in that direction. So where is that one headed? So let's go back over, and you can see where all the moisture is now. So if it goes into Texas towards Corpus Christi there, it still is eventually going to be looking at coming up here. Let me show you this. Coming up to the northwest. But remember, whatever way this tracks, even if it goes up more towards Houston, most of the rain at this point looks like it's going to stay on the right side. Here's the forecast for intensity for this system, 95, and it does not do anything with it. Ignore the ship model. Don't worry about that. You can see it all basically falls apart right there. So not worried about that one if you have friends or family in that particular area. I tell you what, we still have some other systems that we got to keep an eye on. Let's go back over here to the computer. And I want to take you back out here to the forecast model. There you get 40 mile per hour winds now. And then you end up with 65 mile per hour winds. That's why they have the hurricane warning right there along the coast. So very interesting that is going to happen. Let me go ahead. So while we're here, I'll go ahead and just extend it further out so you can see what happens next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's only going out 5 days. That's the forecast that the Hurricane Center issues. But it's likely to curve up the coast and be up somewhere here on the left-hand side, something like this, by the time we get towards Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and kind of fall apart. It gets a lot colder water in that area, so that will just make it fall apart. But, hurricane force, Category 1 at least, is what they're suggesting. So that would be pretty interesting. And as I mentioned, it will keep the name as it goes across. Now, let's come back. What do I want to do this here? Bill Reed, you may remember that name. Bill Reed was the director of the Hurricane Center for years. Great guy. He posted this morning, and it's going to be tough for you to see, so I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. But he's showing these lines here are tracks that have taken storms into Costa Rica. And rarely does that happen, especially in the month of June or July. So here's what he has to say. Not many tropical storms or hurricanes have impacted Costa Rica, but the few that have followed a similar track to the forecast track of potential tropical cyclone 2. June-July storms in Costa Rica are unheard of, as all of these historical storms occurred in mid-September or later. So they haven't even seen this, really. Otto, November 2016, was the most significant, being the only storm to bring hurricane conditions to Costa Rica, which is wild if you think about it because it's way down there. But generally, those storms drift a little bit further to the north by the time they get this far west in the Caribbean. So that's what his thought process was. Here's the GFS model while we're here. It doesn't do a whole lot with it. You can see it down here at the bottom. It is starting to try and strengthen it up a little bit down here. Not a whole lot. But then it takes it across, and then it too. In fact, much lower pressures in the Pacific than what it gets on the other side. European agrees with that as well too. Now, let's come back out here. I'm going to start with the European. There's a tropical wave sitting out here to the right. All right. That one has only a 10% chance for development. But look at the Windward Islands right now. See all that green here on the right-hand side? That's the tropical wave, and that is Friday and Saturday. So I'm going to drag this. This is taking forever. My system's going real slow. Delete that. Maybe that'll help get rid of some of this stuff. Let's go out to Sunday afternoon. See it there near Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Now let's go out to Monday, 4th of July. Big forecast, right? Oh, we don't want a lot of rain. You see, we do have some rain here. So we'll definitely have some afternoon showers and storms that we'll have to dodge. Not a big deal, though. But where is all this moisture? Now coming through the Bahamas on the 5th, the afternoon of the 5th, that's Tuesday. And Wednesday, the European has it kind of merging with an old frontal boundary, like right over top of us. So, I mean, nothing to worry about as far as development goes. At least it's not showing that right now. But it is something that we'll keep an eye on just for moisture, right? Because if that does happen, the GFS actually has it more out here into the Gulf of Mexico, so we'd have less moisture in our way. But bottom line, that would just add for some heavier rainfall possible by the time we get towards next week. All right, let's come back over to the max. A couple enclosed systems. I know we got a lot going on here. A couple enclosed systems today. One in the Gulf of Mexico, one on the coast of Florida, the northeast coast. When I came in this morning, you may have seen my post earlier. I was like, look at that spin right there off of Daytona. So let's go ahead and we'll get to that. Fast forward through this. That one, we kind of covered that. Let's go ahead and show you the tracks there. Yes, this is it. So this morning, and this is only going back 3 hours. I'm going to go back 6 hours, 12 hours, so you can see what I was looking at here. Really interesting loop for this thing earlier this morning as it was rotating pretty well. Look at that spin off of Daytona Beach. You see that? Now, the models over the last week or so have been trying to drag something up into Georgia, South Carolina, up into North Carolina with some moisture. And once or twice, they would actually close the low off and suggest some tropical development. The water's plenty warm there. Not seeing that happen right now, but certainly it's going to drag some moisture up into the area. And so certainly South Carolina, which is already seeing some rain from it along the coast, will get more rain, and then that will go up into North Carolina, up in the Wilmington area after that. And look at this. I mean, look at all the rain coming in the panhandle of Florida. That's a lot of rain from a non-named system. It's basically an old frontal boundary, kind of stalled out in that area. And then if you're looking at the left side of your screen there, you can see over here, we've got all this rain that's associated with 95L. So, whew, a lot going on here. As far as the rainfall goes, I just kind of ran the GFS to show you some of the heavier totals. And, you know, you'll add on to the rain in the Houston area, but look at the southeast. Look at what's happening today and tonight in North Florida, and then right along the immediate coast, especially, say, Savannah all the way up through Wilmington. And this will change a little bit, so we'll see if they end up getting any more rain than that right there. There's our 7-day forecast if you are in the Tampa Bay area where I am based. That's it, guys. Sorry, I didn't want to go too long for today, but you know we got a lot going on. So, of course, we'll always keep you updated. Don't forget to like my YouTube page as well, too. Bobby Deskins Weather is what you want to search on there. And my Facebook page, Bobby Deskins Weather. Don't always do all my updates on the 10 Tampa Bay page, but most of the afternoons you can find them there. Okay, guys, have a great weekend. I am off for a couple days, but I will be checking in, of course, all the way through the weekend and give you these tropical updates just to keep you updated on where things stand. All right, that's it. Have a great Thursday afternoon. Local storms here in the Tampa Bay area shouldn't be too big of a deal, but we'll get some pretty good little thunderstorms later today.